the years. People tend to smile when you say Captain Peter Jansen, but his name is in the records.
He's been place getter here in the outright category, yes. And has been known to steal the show from the front-running cars right on the finish line with handbrake spins and all sorts of things.
The other good thing about Peter is you have to admire he doesn't drive all that often, doesn't race all that often. I think probably, you know, an occasional run here or there. And you come to Bathurst, we're talking about how serious Dick Johnson has been getting fit. Not quite sure if the captain's been on that same diet.
He's been working the elbow.
But he's done a great job. Bob Jones and the Ampol Max machine. And just ahead of him is Barry Graham or young Brian Callaghan heading to the top of the hill. The Everlast Commodore with Bill O'Brien. They're still in there. Looking for a strong finish here today.
That's the Hendricks entry, the Gem Spares car that we saw. It went off earlier, but they've managed to get it fixed up and back on again. And you can see the storm moving in. And I would say it's not too many minutes away now.
It's very narrow, that band of rain and hail, though, and it could bypass us. I mean, there's grey cloud everywhere, but we're just looking at a shaft of precipitation about 6 or 7 miles wide, and if that goes by us, I think the race will be a lot better for it.
It's hard not to get hit by a 6-mile wide sledgehammer, though, isn't it?
I'm worried about these guys. I'm a caring person, and I also have my car parked out the back.
And mine.
And yours.
Larry Perkins gives the captain a go-by as they head off the top of the hill. And through Mazda Forest Elbow. Car 11, Larry Perkins, in 10th position still, and that's a remarkable effort. When
considering the trouble they've had,
yeah. Absolutely.
He still loves his motor racing. Pete Jansen talking to him during the week. Looks forward to it. Thinks Bathurst is a place you just can't avoid in October. Here he comes up behind a couple of the slower cars, smaller cars I should say. Study of concentration. So the 13 Ampol Max machine continues down on the inside here in a bit of a braking duel. Very, very tidy indeed. I guess you're all sitting at home saying, is that storm going to break? We hope it doesn't. Because if it does, I don't know what they're going to do here. The hail starts coming in. That's exactly what happened back at the last wet race we had here.
Well, they could always flag the race and declare a result. At least we've passed the 2/3 race distance.
Yes.
Well, we're talking Commodores here. Brock's engine sounding very flat. He just came past us pit straight, sounding very second-hand. He's had every other problem in the world today, Brocky. I'm sure he won't be surprised to hear that his engine's now going off song.
Nissan race cam, Jim Richards, Winfield Nissan #1, the race leader. By about a minute, they'll be coming in for a stop shortly. Here's one of the few people at Mount Panorama that wouldn't mind if the storm did break. It would not concern him one whit. Start-finish straight here at Mount Panorama, past Ken Matthews, Sierra, for about the 5th time. 20 laps remaining in the great race of 92. About 45 minutes or so, as long as the storm doesn't break and we don't get the pace car back again. Sounds of rolling thunder overhead.
I bet they're trying to keep that car out there. They'll be staying away from the pit as long as they possibly can. There's now a curtain of rain moving right behind the mountain. Couldn't be more than a mile behind Skyline.
Let's check them out for you on the Caltex race score. The race leader is, of course, Jimmy Richards. Second spot held by Dickie Johnson and John Bowe. Third, Neil Crompton, Anders Ollison. Fourth, Johnny Chicotto, Tony Longhurst. And fifth is 16, Win Percy and Alan Grice. Sixth spot, the Gibbs Onslow GIO Nissan GTR, followed by car number 55, Andrew Madecki and Troy Dunstan, the Mobil 1 Commodore. 8th is 35, Wayne Parker, David Parsons and the Peter Jacksons here at night. Car number 41, Andrew Harris and Gary Cook and the Daily Planet Commodore. And 10th spot, number 11, Larry Perkins and Steve Harrington in the Bob Jane T-Mart's Commodore. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Mount Panorama. Tooheys 1000, the 30th anniversary of the great race. And this is the number 2 Nissan, Neil Crompton at the wheel after 144 laps. This car is in 3rd position on the racetrack. The storm clouds have gathered overhead. It is as black as the ace of spades outside the window of our commentary position here, and there is a few spots of rain just starting to fall on the straight here. Now, if this storm breaks, all hell will break loose. Neil Crompton doing a great job here with Anders Olofsson in the second Nissan entry. Neil, of course, has long been part of our 7 commentary team, but jumped at the chance for a drive like this. Just 31 years of age, and has a terrific record for a guy who really, until just recently, has been a part-time driver. Has had a couple of starts here. Has had a 5th place finish in the 12-hour race, a 5th place finish in the 1990 Tooheys 1000, and 3rd in the 92 Australian Drivers' Championship.
What we don't see on those stats, Gary, is a reference to Neil's success on motorbikes as a kid, too. He's been a petrol head since he was able to walk, really. His father had him racing trail bikes in the country when he was a lad, and he was very successful. In fact, won an Australian Championship, as I recall.
That's right, won a junior, as I recall.
Just looking along the pit lane out our window, and all the teams have got full wet tyres lined up.
Well, here comes Crompton beneath the Subaru bridge, heading down to Caltex Chase.
This is a real bind for the team bosses, isn't it? I mean, Crompton must be due for a pit stop right now. And they take him in now. What tyres do they put on? This band of rain is pretty narrow. If it goes past and they put wets on, he's in all sorts of trouble. You couldn't put wets on in these conditions. We'll find out what they're going to do.
So the danger now, they'll probably service the number 2 car, Neil Crompton.
And use it as an experimental vehicle.
Could do, put Anders Olofsson in the car, who's probably a lot more experienced with wet weather racing, or they may leave Neil in the car. We'll wait and see that.
We'll soon find out. Mark Osler is on the spot.
Thanks very much, Gary Wilkinson. Yes, Neil Crompton comes in. He's not getting out of the car. And the Nissan crew have been all sorts of consternation discussing with the Yokohama tyre engineers exactly what tyre to put on this car. It's just started to rain quite heavily in pit lane, and they're putting on full wet weather tyres for the run to the finish. 143 laps, but of course, if the weather changes and it gets dry, Crompton's going to be back in again. This could be a fascinating finish to the Tooheys 1000. Freddie Gibson holding on to him. I've got the clock on 25 seconds. The car off the air jacks. Crompton mobile in 28 seconds. Very slick stop from the Nissan crew.
Yeah, fabulous stop. Now, anything that Dick Johnson had going for him, making inroads on Jimmy Richards, has now disappeared. With the arrival of the rain, they're all out there on slicks. There's going to be a mad charge through the pits here. There's no point staying out there. It's going to hang around this bad weather.
There it is.
There's Mark Gibbs going through in the GIO car. The idea now is to just ease it out and bring them on down into the pits. No heroic stuffs on Subaru straight. You can see the guys have backed them all off, and here comes the charge into the pits. 55, Andrew Madecki is in. He's ready for a full set of wets.
Car 28, Kevin Waldock in the pits, same thing. Here comes Dick Johnson. It's a procession. There'll be nobody left on the racetrack.
You won't be able to hear for whistle blowing.
I know the roughest ride up there must be our helicopter cameraman and our pilots tracking race cam and bringing the pictures. It is filthy outside. Here's Johnson in. Keep in mind, Dick said he's got the headlights covered up with shell decals. Looks like a regulation stop down here. Just a set of wets coming on.
Andy Raymond is there.
Yes, a full set of wets going on. John Bow is actually going to jump into the car. He's not doing that. The team very concerned about time. Team manager Ross Stone is really giving the boys a lot of hurry up here. As I said, the full wets are on as the Perth Gricey car goes out, and Johnson is just about ready. Now he's going down from the hoist, and Dickie Johnson's back in action.
The Gibbs Onslow car goes as well. There's going to be a man charge out of pit lane. pace car, I think, is going to come out as well. Make sure that cars don't stay out there, because you can see what's happened up there.
76 it is. One of the Corolla, the 1600cc cars, Calvin Gardner, Jeff Forshaw, Mike Conway. I couldn't quite see which of them was in the car, but he's out, he's okay, we can see that much.
Well, he's just okay. This result, when they announce it, is going to be the most controversial race result in the history
of the race. Now, this marshal down here, providing all the cars have stopped, is not the place to be running down the track. And Mark Scaife explaining exactly what happened, what he saw on the screen. So in the Winfield Nissan pits, they're investigating and trying to count back the laps. We'll wait on the club.
Oh, the marshal's just fallen over in the wet. Not only are the cars losing traction, so are the marshals. He just went A over D down the grass verge.
Well, fortunately, the pace car is out. That was what was concerning me. The marshals, a couple of them running down on the grass. So if you get off there, the driver's got no chance whatsoever of stopping with slicks on. These are some of the cars that pitted and went back out. And the strange thing is, it's clearing. Now, here's some action replay. The Everlast Commodore, which just didn't.
18 Shell car was involved in it, but got going again.
Then came Andrew Harris, was hooked there by the Corolla.
The Bates twins.
It's the Daily Planet car, I think.